Welcome to another episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained, where we break down bite-sized real estate information for you. And today, part of our new series with the JNA Capital Markets team, we of course have our commercial specialist, and it's none other than Justin Chua. Justin Chua. Okay, so Justin and I, we are very casual with one another because we are actually honestly bros in the workplace, right? And Justin has been like someone that I've seen ever since the first day in real estate with JNA, being passionate about commercial. And he himself has brokered countless of commercial deals, whether it's sale or rental, right? So Justin, where did this burning desire for commercial come from? No, honestly, I mean, rarely do you grow up and then saying that, I want to do this commercial game. And then that conviction translated to a lot of execution and action where you are advising clients who are like double your age, triple your age also have. Okay, 2.5 times your age on selling the commercial units and buying the commercial units. So where did this passion come from?
I guess I just kind of find myself going to commercial. I mean, I've been doing resi also, right, at the start. And somehow I just start to be introduced to commercial cases, doing rentals and slowly
sale
and slowly doing sale and purchase. And then, so I just keep finding myself back to doing commercial no matter how much I try to do residential.
And I would dare say that Justin is currently the youngest commercial broker in Singapore's real estate.
Oh, really?
And I was just doing some age check based on the commercial agents that's involved. But I mean, age is one thing, right? Why at this young age you want to do commercial? Because usually people do commercial because they have amassed a whole following of like residential clients, then they convert to commercial, right? So yourself, why that love for commercial assets? What's so good about commercial?
What's so good about commercial? I guess number one, no ABSD.
Oh yeah, that's good. The current news, this is actually very good.
Yeah, but I think the
only cheering one, right, in the office then, right, when ABSD came out, is Justin like, yeah.
Yeah, I think the ABSD news will hit the market, the residential market a lot, right? But aside from that, I mean, why I like the commercial market, I mean, you get to see different businesses, how they operate, right? You get to see how different business model, or, maybe you might have a birth of a new business idea, through just transacting and just talking to more of the commercial real estate players out there.
I love that. So when you look at commercial assets, right, you're seeing like cash flows, right? You're seeing like the revenue model, the profit model, what's the EBITDA, you're seeing like how this business is actually doing, right? Way better or not as good, right? Because of the real estate. Because rental is a key problem in most of the businesses. It's either going to be a bane or it's going to be renting a high price unit may be a good reason why you get good frontage and footfall as well, right?
Yeah.
So Justin, last thing, I'm going to ask you before we start today's episode, right? And ask you what we're going to cover, right? When you look at one commercial shop, what is an animal that best describes a commercial shop?
What's an animal? Wow. Wow.
I've answered already.
You have answered,
but you must.
Maybe you go first.
No, but you must think first.
I don't have an answer.
Okay, let me think. Okay, I'll say it. I'll see it as a cow.
Oh, why?
Because it's like a cash cow, right? Not. It's like, no, it's true. Like every commercial real estate is for business purposes, right? And it's like a cash cow. It's like either this is a cash cow that I can milk a lot of milk and I can sell the milk out, or it's a dying cow, Yeah. Yourself,
Wow, what animal? I would say a butterfly.
Wait, why?
Because, butterflies, they comes in all different colors, different shapes, and different... And the beauty of a butterfly differs from one person to another.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that describes shophouse exactly.
Amazing. And to add on that, even though butterflies look different, right, they serve kind of same purpose, right, of like bring nectar to the plant, right? I think not bee, I think butterfly. My bio teacher, sorry. And then what happens is, different shape sizes, but some boring, dull-looking butterflies or some moths actually can do way better than other butterflies, right? Yeah, and I like that, right? And last but not least, so something I want to share is this. One of our clients once said this about a shophouse before. Yeah, I'm not sure what it means. Comment section, you can let me know. He said sweet chai butterfly, this shophouse.
Oh, wow.
Is it a Singaporean term?
I have no idea.
Okay, no idea. So if you know what sweet chai butterfly means, right, there was a deal that brought the client in and it's like, wow, this one's sweet chai butterfly. So I have no idea what it means, right? Let me know what it means. Okay, so today, we just want to crack it up a little bit because, it's get tense, right? But today we're talking about a very dull, boring asset. Commercial asset. So after seeing so many commercial assets, right, in the past, I think it's a very boring kind of asset class. But after, we talk about it and realize that, every different asset has a use and also is a revenue generating property.
Yeah.
And one interesting thing is that commercial assets can outperform residential assets in yield and capital appreciation. And that's the reason why in JNA Real Estate and JNA Capital Markets, we want to expand your mindset towards commercial investments, right? So before we start, let's just give a brief introduction of the team, right? I think you guys have heard it maybe a couple of times, right? But the capital markets team is helmed by three main individuals. We have Alvin, who helms the residential buy side, Kimberly, who helms the residential sell side, and of course, Justin in the commercial side, right? So Justin.
Yep.
Another question about insight? No lah, okay. So today, what are we talking about?
So today we'll be talking about HDB shophouses.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but before we go to that, the reason why we have commercial as part of the capital markets team is because we want to see that if there's any synergy that we can provide for our clients,
Absolutely.
right? For the residential side, whether is it a buyer or a seller,
Leasing as well.
yeah. Together with the commercial aspect of properties.
And how this whole commercial team was birthed, because the residential team is already, right, head over heels, right? And I tell you honestly, I don't think there's even a term, but we are also busy already. And it's just like some of our clients are like, hey, do you do commercial or not? I need you to help us offload there. So from that, slowly, in the past few months, we built the commercial capabilities, right? And then that synergizes very well with the residential team to provide the 一条龙 service, the one full suite service, right? Okay, tell me more about this HDB shophouse from the, I'm just saying, from the slide, right?
Yeah, so as you can see, right, that recently there has been a slew of HDB shophouse that's coming onto the market, right? Back there we have in April, we have actually three news about HDB shophouse hitting the market, right?
And what I'm saying for this, right, the previous one at Marine Parade, right, if we go deep into the news, right, this HDB shophouse is $4 million, 2-story, retail space on the first floor, living quarters on the second floor.
Yes.
Which also means it's not like just $4 million, I have to pay ABSD, right?
Yeah, there will be a caveat to it.
So commercial, you also have to pay ABSD, okay? Guys, you catch it, right? So if there's a living quarters up there, residential component, you have to pay ABSD.
Yeah.
So how do we actually value the residential component? Because 4 million, I can play around with it, man. Maybe 3.9999 million, the commercial segment, 0.001 million, so I pay less ABSD, right?
Interesting.
So how do people do that?
Yeah, so basically, right, what they would do is usually they get a private valuer, right, to come down to value. So how do they actually value this living quarters? They'll value it the same as a HDB flat that you can buy off the market, right? So that they'll use that as an indicative of the value of the living quarters.
Interesting.
So they value it quite similar to a HDB flat.
In the past when I was serving this shophouse owner at Sam Leong, he told me that he bought a HDB shophouse in the past early years, not knowing that he had to pay for the residential component. And he felt that, okay, that was like post, I think 2013 when he bought it. And he said that he had to pay ABSD, he didn't know. So these are the things that you guys need to know, because some agents, they don't share. Only when you pay for the tax after the exercise, right? Then you will kena lah. Okay. Well, take a look at the newspaper articles, right? It's insane because, right, those friendly shop houses that we order the 杂菜本the 菜饭and then maybe buy the $1.50 potato chip, right, can cost $12 million for 4, so each is 3, and $5.4 million. And fun fact, we do have like mama shop operators who are our clients who can tell us that every single mama shop that they make on average can be like $20,000 to $40,000 in terms of profit, right? Why is there just this demand about HDB shop houses? Because first question I want to ask you, the tenure. There's going to be a limited tenure, right?
Yep. Yeah, so actually most of the HDB shop house, they are actually 99 years in tenure, some maybe 89 or even 60, right? Depending on where the lease term that HDB sells you.
I see. So where can you like check this information? Like for someone who's like going into the deal, they want to check about the lease tenure. Where can they check?
Usually if it's a HDB shop house, they can definitely check on the HDB website. Got it. On the tenure.
Yes. Okay. So is the government releasing any more HDB shop houses?
No, in fact, they already stopped selling HDB shop house since the 1990s.
I see. Okay, I see. Great. Okay, let's talk about this investor consortium. List portfolio of 11. Wow, 7-Eleven.
Yeah, so actually, interestingly, most of the portfolio are rented to anchor tenants, where we call like 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
So recently there is a lot of HDB shop houses coming into the market. So mainly today, we just want to understand what's so attractive about HDB shop house and we consider even looking at HDB shop house as a form of an asset.
Yeah, so this 11 HDB shop houses that we're talking about, where is this locality?
They are at various locations.
Yep.
I think there's some in Jurong, Ang Mo Kio, right?
All the friendly metro estates lah.
Yeah, I mean where 7-Eleven wants to be lah, right?
I remember there was this auntie that told me that last time he bought this HDB shop house for a few $100,000 or tens of thousands only because no one to buy. So she bought a few. Right now I think he's a multi-millionaire, right?
Yeah.
And she haven't sold yet. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so as you can see, right, there are very few. Since 1998, I think the HDB already stopped selling shop houses.
That's like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's only about 8,500 HDB shop houses in the market.
Yeah.
This is compared to about maybe 6,500 conservation shop houses.
Conservation shop houses, yeah.
Yeah. We still have those shop houses that are non-conserve in status.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are the limited supply, right?
Yes.
Of HDB shop house. So now if you want to get a HDB shop house, you got to rent from HDB or rent from the
owners who have bought before 1998, right? And what I'm hearing now is that all the shop houses that can be bought are all in the secondary market right now.
Yes.
They are no longer going to be straight up from HDB, right? And that's why with the limited supply, the prices went up, right? So my question here is that if I have this amount of money, right, why consider, okay, let's say not this amount of money now, right? Why do people consider HDB shop houses over conserve shop houses in D1, D2, D7, D8 for secondary conserve? Yeah.
Right. I think the most important factor we will look at is more about affordability, right? Because when we look at conservation shop house, you're looking at PSF about 5,000, 6,000 per square feet.
7,000 recently.
Yeah. So, I mean, when HDB shop house, you can look, of course, in matured or more heartland kind of area, you can look at per square feet about 3,000.
Yeah.
Right. But if not, it'll be 3,000 to about 2,000 to 3,000 kind of range.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's more palatable.
Yes.
Yeah. If you just buy 7,000 and then you tell me buy 2,500, I may consider 2,500. But of course, you are not talking about like the CBD areas.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why it's more affordable for people, right? But the reason of that is because, of course, as compared to conservation shop houses are of a freehold
status. There are some that is 999 years as well. Right?
Yeah.
So my question here is that those coffee shops that we see, right, under the HDB block, are they also HDB shop houses?
Yes, they're actually considered also HDB shop houses. Yeah. So ever since then, government have already stopped selling this kind of
coffee shops.
Coffee shops as well.
And that's the reason why we are seeing like Yishun coffee shops, so 40 million. Then there's one that we went at Bukit Batok, right?
Yeah.
How much was the coffee shop going for?
That one was sold back then for 31.
Wow. And now I think easily is valued at 50, right? For the size.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's carry on, Justin. Yeah.
Yeah. So next, actually, mainly we're going to talk about like what are some of the things that you need to consider, right? In terms of like what is it different from a residential property that we have out there. So actually, it's quite similar in terms of the buyer stamp duty, right? But it's just that the slight difference is that, for residential, you have to pay up to 6%.
Yeah.
Right? But for commercial properties, you only need to pay up to 5%. So this is something that most people will not know about.
Yes. Because usually when EBSD news come up, people look at residential, forget about commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that's number one. I mean, the recent cooling measures, commercial side also will see an increase in the buyer stamp duty.
Yeah.
Right. The other component that we need to talk about is the additional buyer stamp duty. So when and how much is it and when do we need to pay ABSD? So actually ABSD you only need to pay if, let's say, for HDB shop house is where you have a living quarters above. So there are cases where HDB shop house doesn't come with living quarters. Right? So that's where it'll be a full commercial title. But as long as there is a living quarter above, right, you have to pay a ABSD portion if you're buying under company or personal name.
So there are just different commercial asset classes that we're seeing from, like maybe some is like mixed commercial resi, and then some is like resi commercial on the first floor. So what are the different classes that we have?
So for HDB shop house, there's only two. One is either it comes with a living quarter, or one it doesn't come with a living quarter.
So you want to siam those with living quarter?
There is pros and cons to it. Why? Because some of them might choose to house their worker on the living quarters. Right. Alternatively, they can look to rent out if it's in a good location.
So my question here is that if, let's say today I own a private property, I cannot own a HDB but if I own a private property right now, can I own a HDB shop house with a living quarter on top?
Yes, you can.
So there's a hack to own a HDB unit lah.
Yes, but you still have to pay the ABSD on the
residential component lah. Then if I own a HDB already, can I then own a private with a residential component upstairs?
If you already own a HDB,
yes,
you can.
Oh, and the question
you
is
have to fulfill your MOP.
Definitely lah, right? So the living quarters on top, right? I can even stay upstairs
Yeah, you can stay upstairs.
So I can operate my shop downstairs and go upstairs and sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's some of them that will prefer living quarters because where they can house their worker, because rental outside now is very expensive,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, so there's some of the owners or the operators would like a living quarter on top so that, they have space to, house their workers.
So with the current ruling, right, in the market, right, where entities have to pay up to 65% ABSD. So if you are a company that is buying a property, then you have to pay 65% on the living quarters.
Yes.
So how does it make it attractive anymore?
Because the 65% is not on the full sum of the property that you are looking at. Example, let's say a HDB shop house is about 2.5 million.
Yeah.
So you only need to pay 65% on, let's say the HDB shop house comes with a living quarter.
Yeah.
So the value of the living quarter will be about 500,000. So you pay 65% on the 500,000, not the full 2.5 million.
But that is like already 400 plus thousand, 300 plus thousand.
300 plus thousand. Yeah. But it's generally still more attractive than you were to buy a 2.5 million residential property.
Yeah.
And how much ABSD do you
So in another video, we'll be sharing with you a little bit more in detail about what are some of the ways we are able to save, right? And do some proper tax planning, right? To save, whether it's GST, ABSD, what we can do, right? Should we buy an entity? Should we buy an individual name? We'll talk about it in detail in the next, in another video, right? We'll cover that. Okay, carry on, Justin. Sorry. So many questions to ask. Yeah.
Yeah. So things to note is that buyer stamp duty is every property has it.
Unavoidable.
Yeah. And ABSD, you do need to take note if there's living quarters that might come with the HDB shop house.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah. So next question will be, is there seller stamp duty?
Yeah.
So actually there is seller stamp duty, but there is no MOP.
Okay.
Yeah. So in fact, even when you buy a HDB shop house, some people might think that if I have a HDB flat on top, I have to fulfill the fire MOP.
Yeah.
So actually that's not the case for HDB shop house because it's considered private in the government's eyes. So you still need to comply to the SSD portion. That's similar for any private shop house that you buy out there.
Understand.
With the residential component.
Understand. Okay, what else?
Yeah, so one more question that what people usually ask is, can foreigners then buy or PR buy?
Yeah.
So the good news is that actually foreigners and PRs can purchase HDB shop house.
So the secret of owning a HDB flat in Singapore is to buy a HDB shop house with living quarters upstairs.
Yes, but there's not much left.
Yeah.
So
what is the cheapest? What's the price range you're looking at in the market? Like something that is like commercial on the first floor and HDB quarters at the second floor?
Oh, I would say the cheapest that you might be able to find will start from about 2.5 million.
Which is okay lah, right? Because you still can operate a business downstairs, you can still rent it out, and then the upstairs will be quite a comfortable place.
Yeah.
How big is the living quarters usually, roughly?
Usually it will be a 3-room flat, if not it's a 4-room flat lah.
Okay lah, but 900 plus square feet to about 1,200, 1,300. Okay.
Yeah, depending on when the HDB shop house is built. So actually,
older the better, bigger.
Different period where they build it, they have different layout and it's quite standardized throughout.
I see. Interesting. So to access the residential component of the HDB shop house, you have to walk through the staircase in the commercial shop. Yeah, so
or
the back.
There are two different ways, right? So there's one that the traditional way is you have to walk up the staircase
through the shop.
From the back of the shop.
From the back of the shop, yeah.
Yeah, right. The other newer kind, right, will be that you can have direct access from the second floor lah.
How do you do that?
No, so it falls under the same title.
Yeah.
But you have another, maybe the staircase that you share with the entire block. But the second floors usually come together with the title of the commercial property on the ground floor.
Okay, understand. So interesting. I hope you guys are learning so much right now, right? There's just some technicalities that we got to tie down, and I think it's so interesting to know about the practical usage of the space as well. So I've asked you a lot of details, the practicality of HDB shop house, and also a lot of questions they've answered very well on living quarters. I think this should be the first video on HDB shop house on YouTube. Okay, so objectively, what are the pros and the cons of HDB shop houses?
All right, so the pros of HDB shop house is that foreigners and PR can purchase, right? So entities wise, if you have someone that is not a Singapore citizen in your company, you can also purchase because it's not restricted kind of property.
Amazing,
right? Second most important thing is there's no
ABSD and SSD.
Yeah. Yeah,
so heaven.
But it's on the commercial component only.
But a question for you is that HDB shop houses, right? There are some HDB shop houses that don't have the living quarters upstairs, right? So you can consider those lah.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pay ABSD lah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So the other pros of it is that is near to residential heartlands.
Yeah.
Right. So this means there's more footfalls.
Yeah.
Right. For business or tenants that you are looking to occupy your HDB shop house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they are closer to some of the other conservation shop house that you might see.
And don't look, one of the biggest e-com brands, right? They're always selling mass market products, right? So don't ever underestimate what a HDB heartland shophouse can do. When I saw the prices of the transactions, I look at the owner very differently. But usually those are the tenants, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
something can cost up to a GCB. Right?
Yeah, especially
the coffee shops.
the more limited ones.
Yeah, the limited ones. Yeah. And
lastly is generally more affordable
compared to conservation shop houses.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're generally more palatable, right?
Yeah.
Compared to a conservation shop house where maybe it starts from 30 million onwards.
Okay, right now I'm going to be doing this for our TikTok and our IG Reel shop. There is a hack to buy a HDB even if you own a HDB or private. So you got to watch this video. Right. Because living quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Carry on. Let's go on to the cons. Sorry, you had to go on the go because we have like 3 cameras in front of us with a big screen. So we need to plan our content well, okay? Because it is truly a hack, right? Okay, what about cons?
So the cons is HDB shop houses are leasehold in nature.
All of them,
Yeah, all
right?
of them, actually.
So some 60 years, some 89 years, some 99 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And there's not much rebuilding options.
You have no rebuilding options, right?
Yeah.
You only can do an ID inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no rebuilding options compared to the other shop houses.
Yeah. So in the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about like conserve shop houses, primary and secondary conserve specifically. Like primary conserve, you have to keep the facade, right? But you can do some touch up here and there.
Yes.
Yeah. Secondary conserve, you still can maybe build an annex building at the back, right? But HDB, you cannot touch.
On top is the HDB flats.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
Right. And then like maybe of those shop houses which doesn't have a classification for private, you can do a full tear down and rebuild to a 6-story building.
Amazing.
Yeah, so this is one of the cons that if you are looking at purchasing a HDB shop house.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more stable as well, right? Because one of the other cons that it is because it's highly regulated by HDB.
Yeah.
So I mean, since it's being highly regulated, you expect to see some stability there as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And
any form of cooling measures that happen for HDB shop houses yet?
No.
So the regulation comes from like approval of building.
Yeah, I mean you have to comply with HDB.
Comply with HDB regulations.
Right, town council. Yeah. So I mean you have so many eyes on you.
Absolutely. And all is step board, right?
Yeah.
Big step boards, right? So what about like it being the only available in the resale market?
So there is not much. Firstly, there's not much options you have in the market. Number 2 is that you only can buy from people that already owns the HDB shop house. Yeah. So it's very different from maybe you can. If let's say the government would choose to release, maybe you got a first tips to the shop house. Yeah. But being mostly in the resale market, you only have the resale market to actually look at if you really want to get a...
Okay, great. We heard the pros and cons. Thank you for your time today. I think the next video, we're going to cover a little bit more about the numbers, right? What's the yield? How's the capital appreciation for some of the HDB shop houses? How it's done, right? And we're also going to go very deep dive into like, if you were to buy this HDB shop house at this time, how much you have made. I think once you're able to conceptualize and have the image of a heartland, more friendly Hougang HDB shop house, making a lot of money. I think whether you're a millennial or you're a high net worth investor or you're just an investor in the market, you will start seeing asset classes differently, right? And that's our job at JNA Real Estate, right? Any concluding thoughts, Justin?
I mean, HDB shop house might seem attractive, but definitely you still have to do your due diligence, right? As well as understand the market, right? Before making such purchase or considering such property.
Yeah, I think one guiding principle that we always have in JNA Real Estate is that never dabble into real estate asset classes that you are foreign to because you're just gambling, right? So get an expert to guide you through the entire process, right? And most of the time the service is free, so why not, right? Yeah, we don't charge for consultancy as well as this. So if you have any questions about this, number is here. WhatsApp, call, email, text, I don't get what else, right? Just contact this number and let us know about your questions, whether it's selling or buying a shop house. Number 2, join the Telegram chat because we have released a few new series about GCBs as well, which is quite interesting in the capital markets team, right? So please click on the QR code and then you are able to join this exclusive JNA community where there are going to be good lobangs as well, okay? Thank you so much for watching till the end of this episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained, where we talk about 2 big things, right? HDB shop houses, very well-known facts about it. Number 2, how you can even own a HDB after owning a HDB and a private property, right? These are real life hacks, right? So thank you so much for watching this episode. We'll see you for the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.